Hey guys, so I just want to make a quick video. After a couple days I've been using the Huawei Note 5, and there's a couple things I really enjoy about this phone, but also there's a couple things I really don't like about this phone. So let's get to it. So there's 4 things I really don't like about this phone, but that's maybe because due to I've been using some Samsung flagship devices, so there's some feature that I might be nitpicking, but it depends on what phone you guys use. But I'm just telling you my opinion compared to other flagship. Okay, the first thing is there's no NFC. For some of you guys, maybe that's okay because some of you guys maybe never use NFC. But for me, I use NFC a lot, and especially where I'm from, like Shoppers or some drugstore. I mean, not drugstore, but any other convenience store. They do actually take most of them NFC, Google Pay or Samsung Pay, even Apple Pay. So that's a really useful thing for me. So that's a big thing. That's a deal breaker. That's why I can't use this as my daily driver. Second thing is USB Type-C. I mean, it's not a big deal for some of you guys because like I just recently got the S7 Edge and it's still using micro USB, so it's not like a big thing. But for some of you guys already transitioned to some of the newer phones with all USB-C, I would recommend you get a newer phone that supports it. Maybe the next version they might have it. Also, if you guys saw my recent video review on the ZTE, I'll put a link up here. It's $100 and you do get a USB-C, so I mean I don't see why they can't do this at all. They could totally do this, but they chose not to, so that's a really weird in my opinion. The third thing is wireless charging. I mean, it's not a big thing, not a big deal at all for some people, but for me, I do have a Samsung wireless charging dock and it does work. I use it a lot every day actually. When I'm sitting on the computer, I just like to put it there. It will charge up, and it might not charge the fastest in the world, but at least it works. And compared to S7 Edge, which it does have wireless charging, I do want to compare this S7 Edge to this because right now these two are really similar prices you can get it for, and 2-year-old flagship versus this year's mid-ranger. So I would do a head-to-head comparison to see is it worth getting 2-year-old device or this year's mid-tier device. The fourth thing is also no IP67 or any kind of splash or water resistant ratings. So if this thing touched the water, it's done. This might not be for everyone importance, but I mean for me, I do use this in the shower time to time to listen to music and stuff. So it is pretty important to me personally, but that depends on your needs. So now I get most of the annoyance out of the way that I found using this for a couple of days. Now let's get on to the good stuff that I think this is totally worth your money for 200-ish. Alright, so now let's move on to the good things. The build quality of this device. The build quality of the device is pretty damn amazing. If you guys ever use older HTC 10 or even the 7, 8 and so on, they have really similar build, and so does the OnePlus 3T. If you guys ever use those or felt those, this feels really similar to that device, and that's a pretty good, amazing thing to consider how cheap this device is. You do want to feel good in the hands. This feels really good as well. Some of the cheaper, lower end doesn't feel good for some reason, but this one feels a good heft to it. So you will like using this phone with a case or without a case, so you won't feel disappointing. So the second thing I like about it is the processor. It is using the Snapdragon 660. If anyone been using Xiaomi's their own UI, you guys notice they've thrown a lot of feature here, especially the new. If anyone used the 10 Android 8.1 with the newest Xiaomi's UI 10, it's pretty damn amazing with all these features they throw at it. It does inspired by iOS, but with the software optimization and all these cool animations, all these features they included, it's pretty damn compelling. If for anyone jumping from iOS to this, you will feel like you're not missing out much. Actually, I don't prefer this over stock Android, but I use a Samsung, so I do prefer a bit of skin with a lot of feature anyways. So this is pretty neat actually. I do kind of like the skin. It's pretty is really fluid. Unlike the Samsung over time, it's really fluid. It feels much more optimized for this phone than Samsung's Galaxy Samsung UI for Samsung. So that's a comparison. I'll show you a feature list later on in the video, but that's later on. And also third, the camera. The camera on this thing has dual lenses. I think one is 16 megapixel and one is 5 megapixel. I'll put the specs down here. But honestly, without looking at the megapixels, everything, because honestly, if you look at the iPhone, it never competes with the megapixels anyways, and they have one of the best cameras around. So if you just pick it up and shoot a picture of this camera, it's definitely pretty good compared to mid-rangers. Because my friend has a OnePlus 3T, and I compare it with this phone definitely is better than the 3T, so that's a comparison. I'll also have a sample shot versus the S7 Edge versus this, so you guys can compare in low light and also in the daytime. So I'll show you right after this. And also the speaker of this phone is pretty good. It's pretty loud, but not super loud. It's comparable to S7 Edge or the S8 honestly, but just less bass. Not as clear, but it's loud. It's really loud. Testing out the music quality. That's my car right there. As you can see, it's pretty loud. As you can hear, it's pretty loud. And also the screen. I forgot totally. The first thing I really like about this is the screen. The screen, I think, is running on 2K display or 1080. It doesn't matter because it's amazing for the price. If you look at this and any other newer phones, you couldn't tell this is a budget phone. That's one thing I have to tell you. It does not feel like a budget phone at all. Honestly, when I first got this phone and I booted up, I immediately got my attention on how bright the screen is. Let me put on full brightness. This is a full brightness. It's super bright. I mean, it's amazingly bright. And so you have no problem reading outside with this screen at all. And also, since it's the new 18:9 aspect of this phone, and all the new trend of last year, it's on this phone, and it does look better. If you compare this to my older Samsung S7, you can judge. This one feels more dated, and this one feels more future or more modernized. So this is definitely a good plus. So you wouldn't feel like you're using a super cheap budget phone from yesteryears or anything. The battery life of this is pretty amazing. I think it's because it's due to their own software is really optimized for this device. So the battery management is amazing on this. I think it's better than the S7 Edge, or even it's comparable with my S8, and maybe that's due to the update of Android 8.8.1, or maybe it's their new EUMI 10. It could be both, but it's definitely give this a good battery life endurance. When I was using this on a day-to-day basis, I really never feel like it's heating up at all. That's probably due to the Snapdragon 660. It's really good at the battery optimization, and also heat. It doesn't run in the overheat as well, so that's a good plus. And my very honest opinion about this device using day-to-day use is that the Snapdragon 660 does not feel slow by any means. It honestly, I feel like Android has been optimized so well now. Even the mid-tier processor has been running Android pretty damn well, especially with the stock Android, and also their own proprietary skin on it, which is really optimized for this phone in particular as well. So you wouldn't really need to worry about the processor, and it has 4 gigs of RAM, and this is also dual SIM and also support expandable SD card. And one thing I also don't like about it is if you take a look at, you see this notification, you know, on normal Android devices, use 2 fingers and you can pull the notification down. It does not work like that. It does not expand. You have to click these arrows, small arrows, and you have to click on it, then it will expand. I don't like that at all. I don't like that, because let me show you on Samsung or any other Android. If you have a notification, you can use 2 fingers and swipe. It will expand it. That's what I'm used to, but this does not have that. And the notification is pretty meh. I don't really like it. It feels too iOS like, and I wish they can let me choose in the theme store, but you can't do that. So that's one thing I don't like about it. Okay guys, it's been a quite long video, so I hope my video helped you guys decide on if this phone is right for you. But if you guys stay tuned and wait till my next video, I would do a comparison on the S7 Edge, so you can compare it to, should you get 2 years old flagship device or the new mid-tier Xiaomi device. Also, I want to get into it. There's no always display on this, even though it has Android 8.1. Xiaomi didn't include it in their Android 8.0, so 8.1. So some of you guys might be disappointed in that, but I mean, there is third-party options out there in the Google Play Store, but I wish they included stock. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like my video and enjoy watching my video, please like my video, and if you have any question, please leave a comment down below. And if you guys love my video, please sub, and see you guys next time. Peace. I just want to go over the list of features, because it's quite a lot of features. So let's go to the display. So it's good to know there is a reading mode, which is pretty much night mode for nighttime reading. Contrast, you can change the color, text sizes, you can change the font. That's pretty good. And also, that's pretty important, tap to wake the screen. That's pretty useful. Okay, so then wallpaper, standard theme, you can change the theme, but it's not that there's not a lot of choices compared to LG or Samsung where you can change the icon. So it's a little bit limited versus the global version, but still pretty good. Sound vibration, standard. So in the lock screen, you can launch, double tap, you can see all these features. There is quite a lot of these, but the main thing I want to go over is home screen. Actually not that one, sorry. It's additional settings right here, where you get the quick ball, which is a small little ball, just like the iOS. Buttons and gesture, you can see there's quite a lot of them, and you can activate by any of these choices, so it's quite a lot. Okay, menu, notification, just which app, nothing usual. Headphone settings, as you can see, one hand mode, you can make it size 4.5, 7 or 3.5. Accessibility, game booster, I think it's honestly just turn off. Yeah, turn on silence so you can keep playing. That's pretty much it for the feature. There's quite a lot more hidden. So there is a dual app which you can have two different apps, so you can have 2 different accounts, but it's only some app that's supported, not unlike others. Okay, install the app permission. So that's pretty much it for the feature list.